Hello, my lovely foodie members. Welcome back to another video. As you can see, I am excited to share with you this amazing and perfect puff puff recipe. This is a new discovery, and we're making banana milk puff puff. It is delicious, it is lovely, and it is so easy to make. All you have to do is to trust the process, and this is what you'll get. So let's dive right in. The ingredients are 2 cups of flour, 3 bananas, half teaspoon salt, 7-gram yeast, 2.5 tablespoon of sugar, and a quarter cup of evaporated milk. I'll proceed to blend the bananas off camera, and now it's time to mix or activate the yeast. I'll start by adding little sugar into the lukewarm water. I'll mix the sugar well into the water, and then I'll add my yeast. Adding sugar to lukewarm water before adding yeast helps to activate the yeast very fast. So after mixing in the yeast, I'll cover and set aside for 10 minutes, and you'll see what the yeast looks like in 10 minutes. So it's time to combine the dry ingredients. For this, I'll be adding my sugar and salt. I'll proceed to combine or mix very well with my fingertips until I'm sure that everything is properly combined. And then I'll make a small hole right in the middle to get the flour ready for the wet ingredients. By wet ingredients, I mean the activated yeast, which I'll be pouring into the hole. I'll also be adding the evaporated milk. And lastly, I'll be adding the blended banana puree. After adding all of this, I'll proceed to mix everything very well first without adding any water or any other form of liquid. And while I mix, if you're yet to like this video, don't forget you can like this video. It is lovely and very nice to leave a comment. Click on that subscribe button so that every single time I post my new discoveries, you would be notified. And if you would always love to watch how to cook Nigerian foods, then I have to tell you, you're in the right place. So after mixing very well, my dough is a little bit too thick. So the only liquid I'll be adding is about 25 ml of water, which was used to rinse out the blender that I used to blend the banana. I'll mix this in again very well to get a semi-thick consistency. The reason why I like my banana milk puff puff consistency to be semi-thick is because there's a way it melts in the mouth when it's not too watery or too light and not too thick. You would see what I'm talking about as this video continues. After mixing everything in and ensuring that I have that texture that I want, the next thing I would do is to cover my bowl. Now you would notice the texture here is not too watery and it is not too thick. This right here is the perfect consistency for puff puff, especially for this particular puff puff recipe. I'll cover the bowl with my aluminium foil and I'll set it aside in a cool and dry place for 1 hour. After 1 hour, I'll bring up my bowl of puff puff dough and then we'll see how to progress right from there. This is the point where I say it's been so lovely having you here watching this video to this point, and I hope we'll continue. This is my bowl after 1 hour, and it's time to unveil my puff puff mix. This is what it looks like. So I'll proceed to give it a nice mix just to remove the air trapped in it while it was rising. After this, it's time to fry puff puff. I know I sound so excited because I am always anticipating the result of this recipe. Every single time I make banana milk puff puff, ooh, it's delicious, it's lovely and nice. So I would heat up some cooking oil, and as soon as the oil is hot enough, I'll proceed to test the hotness of the oil. But first, let me show you my hands. My hands have been properly washed, as you can see. Yes, my hands are washed because I'll be using my hands more in this part of the recipe. After dropping in the dough, I allowed it to rise just to be sure that the oil is hot enough. And then I proceeded to add more puff puff doughs into the hot oil. You see, this point is where the house starts to smell so amazing. The aroma is breathtaking. And here is another thing, puff puff milk or banana milk puff puff is what to try because it's so good as a snack. It's so good as a comfort food. You can literally eat it or enjoy it any time of the day. After putting in enough puff puff dough, I'll allow it to fry on medium heat so that the inside of the puff puff will be properly cooked while the outside turns to a nice shade of golden brown. So I turned the heat down to medium heat. I'll proceed to turn the puff puff after about 2 minutes of frying. And when I turn it, is to check if the part in contact with the oil is brown enough. Now let's turn. This is what that part looks like, which means it's brown, not brown enough, but it's brown to be turned. How do I explain this? It is brown enough to be turned, but not brown enough to be scooped out of the hot oil. I think that better explains the situation here. So I'll turn it and allow it to fry for another 2 minutes so that, the other side can fry very well. And after another 2 minutes, I'll proceed to turn the puff puff again and fry for 1 minute. And this is the result of 5 minutes of frying. My delicious meal is ready to be scooped out of the hot oil. So before I scoop it out, I'll place my basket right next to me. I'll put the basket in a bowl. This is to help remove excess oil from the puff puff. And then I'll simply scoop it into the basket right next to me. I'll repeat this process until I have finished frying all the puff puff dough. Okay, here is where it gets very interesting because I'm about to show you how to take the taste of this banana milk puff puff to the next level. This is what I do to take the taste of my banana milk puff puff once again to the next level. Okay, after frying everything, but I need to slow down a little bit because I think I'm getting too excited. And I mean, what's not to be excited about? This is a very exciting situation. So, after I finish frying the puff puff, the entire bowl of puff puff dough that I made earlier, now it's time to show you what the puff puff looks like in a bowl. This is the result of just 2 cups of flour. I fried all of it and I got about 30 balls of puff puff. This is very nice. But this is just the beginning. I said I was going to show you how I take the taste to the next level. Okay, what I do is I arrange my yummy goodness into a separate bowl and I add a little bit of dessert sauce. For me, I love to use the toffee flavor. It is just so delicious and so nice. And I hope you try this recipe sometime. Okay?